This had to be one of the absolute worst Sunday night football games I have ever seen. For a primetime game that's supposed to be a lot of hype, a standalone game, this game was terrible. This game was this was one of the worst football games not even Sunday night football wise, just football wise. This game was terrible. There was nothing good about this football game. None whatsoever. There was no touchdown scored in this game. It was so freaking bad. It was so bad. So the Saints ended up beating the Buccaneers 9-0. Yes, 9-0. This game was terrible. I can't believe I watched every single snap of this stupid game, and it was so bad. It was one of those terrible games that it wasn't necessarily sloppy. You just knew who was a part of it. You knew the Saints coming in, their ability to own the Buccaneers in the regular season. You know it's Tom Brady. You know that he's 20 plus year career, 7 Super Bowls. You know how good he is. I guess the narrative that he's 44 and he's still doing this, which I find to be one of the most annoying things that people constantly say. Oh, did you know he's 44? Yes, we know he's 44, but you also know that he eats avocado ice cream. So there's a difference there. But it was just this was one of the, like I said, the worst football games I've ever seen. And I'm not the only one. There was people that still watched every snap just like I did. They couldn't take their eyes off of it. It was a beautiful display of absolute garbage. It was a lot of garbage in this game. It really was great garbage, but it was pure garbage. I'm trying to find, if you love defense, if you love football back in the old days with big hits, massive hits, no touchdowns, no yards, 3 field goals and a missed field goal, I think this game was everything that somebody could have wanted. I really do. This game, there was nothing good about it. None. And yet we sat there and we watched every single snap, every single second of this thing. We couldn't take our eyes off of it. And at just some points you just had to laugh. You really did. It was kind of funny at times. It was I don't know what else to say about this game other than it was just glorious hot garbage is what this game was. So let's get into these teams. So as I mentioned, the Saints defeated the Buccaneers 9-0. It was 9-0. It was a 2-possession game. The Bucs could have scored a touchdown, a field goal would be over. But this game didn't feel close whatsoever. This game from the jump wasn't close. Like on the very first play that Tom Brady had, we threw what we thought was an interception, and I was just thinking, all right, here we go. Tom Brady, Saints, terrible matchup. The Saints are going to win this game, and it was just pure. This Saints defense was completely dominant. It was insane. I don't think I've seen a defensive performance like that, and I don't know if this may be the greatest defense performance I've ever seen in my life. And I know some people can attribute a great defensive performance in many ways. A great different defensive performance. Oh, the defense makes a huge stop when they really need it, or it would, a pick 6 here to ice the game, something. No, this was just a straight up dominating performance by the Saints defense. Cam Jordan was all over the freaking place. The Saints secondary was absolutely deadly in this game. That nothing was getting by this Saints secondary whatsoever. They were hitting hard. Chris Godwin got hit hard. Mike Evans got hit hard. Leonard Fournette got hit hard. Everybody. And those 3 guys ended up being out for the entire game, which some people attribute to them being out, but they still had Ronald Jones. They still had Gronk in there. Scotty Miller last year proved that he can be a viable weapon. So this whole, and people using the excuse that, oh, Tom Brady doesn't have any weapons. I'm like, didn't you say that he's the greatest of all time? It shouldn't matter. He wheeled a New England Patriots team that was absolutely hot trash to a 12-4 record. I don't think that's a fair argument. Yeah, his weapons were not good tonight. Gronk, his best target, was absolutely terrible. He was dropping passes left and right. Nobody was getting open. Nobody could do anything. He was sacked 4 times, including this one wasn't a sack, but it was a fumble, which was it was hilarious. I'm just like, God, if that one play doesn't sum up the entire thing that was going up with the Buccaneers tonight, I don't know what does. I really don't. Because I think on that drive, they had 2 pretty good runs by Ronald Jones. And right when they were getting some momentum, possibly in field goal range, kick a field goal, Tom Brady fumbles. I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. So they had the first play of the game, and then you had the fumble, and I'm just thinking that defines this game for the Buccaneers. They could do absolutely nothing on offense. Nothing. Now their defense was great. This was a straight up defensive battle. But I think the defense that was obviously more impressive was the Saints, because they came in to playing Tom Brady. They didn't have a quarterback. They had a bigger challenge ahead, and they stepped up to that challenge, and they stepped up hot. They played well. That defense, they played better than well. They were, if there's a tier above an elite defense, that's literally what the Saints defense is in this game and what they've been all year. This defense is just insane. I don't know how many good words to say about that defense. That defense is so deadly, so insanely good. It's just one of those defenses, and it could be a tribute to their defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, who was acting as the head coach tonight because Sean Payton was out. But like he had that team ready, locked, and loaded to go. They went out there with an edge. They went out there with a fire. And the Saints, as a defense as a whole, continue to own the Patriots, or not the Patriots. It feels like the Patriots. They continue to own the Buccaneers in the regular season. I think Tom Brady has lost all 4 games as a starter in the regular season against the Saints. So that's just a crazy stat. There's always one team that's like a kryptonite for people. It seems like since Tom Brady moved to Tampa Bay, that the Saints are his kryptonite. Like he cannot beat them. He cannot beat them whatsoever. And I think he didn't even play that well in the playoffs last year against him either. So the Saints are a terrible matchup for the Buccaneers. A terrible matchup. And if they meet in the playoffs, I could honestly see the Saints playing with a bit of more of an edge this year, because they knew last year they lost to him in the playoffs. So that could be a devastating matchup for the Buccaneers in the playoffs. But yeah, that Saints defense was just absolutely insane tonight. Cameron Jordan just got pressure all night long. It was sweet, great to see. It's rare that you want to sit there and watch a defensive battle and the entire night and not take your eyes off, but there was just something amazing about this game that you literally couldn't take your eyes off of it. It was just great. But the Buccaneers on offense was pitifully bad. It was bad. They had 302 yards passing, 184 yards. Or no, 302 yards total, my bad. 184 yards passing and 118 rushing, which a lot of those came in either garbage time late in that game when nobody was watching. For some reason, I still was. Or those couple big runs that Ronald Jones had. But other than that, those stats are kind of inflated. The third down efficiency by both of these teams was terrible. I don't usually look at stats most of the time in the game. I just look at when my eyes sync. But I was like, well, what's the stats for these games? The third down efficiency was absolutely atrocious in this game. The Saints were 3 of 16, and the Buccaneers were 6 of 19. And the total number of punts in this game was 17. I just saw that. This was my reaction live. It was 17 freaking punts. Oh my god. This literally felt like I was watching a Big Ten football game. 17 punts. That's absolutely insane. I didn't even realize it was 17 punts. That's nuts. That's terrible. This was a slugfest of a game. But yeah, I mean, offensively for the Saints, if we're going to talk about their offense, I mean, there's nothing to write home about. Their offense was not good. 151 yards total, 61 yards rushing, 212 yards total. Taysom Hill stinks. Taysom Hill was not good tonight. He missed his opportunity. And if the Saints had a competent quarterback, or an average quarterback, I think this game could have been a rout, 17-0, 21-0, 28-0, 31-0. Like, I think if the Saints had a legit quarterback, I think this game would have been a much bigger of a deficit for the Buccaneers. Like, I really do. Like, this game defensively for the Saints playing great. The Buccaneers could do nothing on offense, and the Buccaneers defense definitely showed holes, but Taysom Hill missed him. Like, in the first quarter, Taysom Hill looked great. I think he did. But after that, it was bad. The Taysom Hill did not play well. The Saints didn't play well. I mean, nobody played well. I mean, when you have Gronk dropping passes and the Buccaneers, their only chance really to score points the entire game, they miss a field goal. I think they turn it over on downs one time or whatever early on in the game. It was a bad football game all around for both of these teams. And especially for the Buccaneers, because that whole Antonio Brown situation, the thoughts about him getting cut, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that he's definitely coming back, because they need as much help as they can get. Like the backup receivers, their backup weapons are not good at all. They couldn't do anything. And, even at the end of that game, Tom Brady was just a complete sore loser. He broke a tablet. He was yelling at the Saints bench. I mean, they scored 0 points, and he threw an interception that looked terrible at the end of the game. So that sums up Tom Brady's game. He broke a tablet, and he yelled at the Saints bench. He was, like, calling them, like, effing B words and all this stuff, whatever he was calling them. This game was just insanely stupid, drunk. There was nothing good about this except for the fact that we couldn't take our eyes off of it. But that is my review of Sunday Night Football between the Saints and the Buccaneers. The Saints ended up winning 9-0. Give me your thoughts of what you thought of this game down below, and I will see you in the next one.